Hi, everyone. It's Front Row Phyllis. As most of you know, I have a true heart-filled passion and underlying support for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. But what you don't know is that you might not know the story that we are going to relive today. It's a story of true love between a mother and her son and an incredible foundation, St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, and a special St. Patrick's Day angel. So let's go back to 1997, where a country radio station in Rockford, Illinois, was hosting a radiothon for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. And they were trying everything to get the phones to ring, but it wasn't until the DJ read a letter from Judy Klein, a mom that just lost her son, Matt, at 17 years old due to cancer. She was cleaning up his room sometime later and found his wallet and found $25 in it and held onto the money for some time until she would find something she really wanted to do with that money that was something very special. And she took it and she donated the money to St. Jude to find a cure for an illness just like Matt's. Welcome both Judy Klein and Amy Jung. Thank you both for joining me today. It is a pleasure to meet both of you. How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Nice to see you.
Nice to see
to
both
be
of
here.
you. Yeah. Now, Amy, you've been with St. Jude for a long time.
Yeah, I've been with St. Jude for 15 years.
Wow.
So obviously I love what I do, and actually working on the Country Cares Radiothon program and having the opportunity to work with so many people from the country music industry, radio stations and meeting different talent. It has been one of the biggest blessings in my career because it's such a family feel and people are so connected, and the way they rally, together to support St. Jude is really inspirational.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Now, Is it true that you kept the letter for over 20 years?
Yes, I do. In fact, I still have it. It's scattered a little bit, but I keep it front and center. That moment was probably one of the most emotional and moving moments in my career at St. Jude, and I'll never ever forget that day.
Really?
Yeah, I just remember being at the radiothon, and when we're at a radiothon and those on-air personalities are asking for you to support St. Jude, they love it so much and they so desperately want to do everything they can to get support. And when the phones aren't ringing, it's really hard on them.
Right.
What am I doing wrong? And sometimes that can affect the mood of what's happening. So one of the phone volunteers, we were at Cherryvale Mall, gave me this letter and I read it and I immediately started crying. And I brought it up to the on-air personality and I asked him to read this without just on-air live. Mm-hmm. And it created such a beautiful moment. And it was like, Matt and Judy, you were our angels that day. And I just remember after he read that letter, the phones lit up and the energy in the room changed. And it was just really special.
Absolutely. So do you read it occasionally still?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do.
Yeah,
I do. I keep it front and center. There's a few things from my career that, I keep, but this was one of the most special things for me because I got this letter. It was like an angel moment, and we call them Danny moments, certain things that happen that they're very powerful. And so that happened. And then years later, I had an opportunity, when was it, Judy? What year was it when I came back?
It was like my 18th or 19th year of working the radiothon when you came.
So I had left that division. I wasn't working in that area anymore. And then years later, I came back. I was going to volunteer for the Rockford Radiothon. And I hadn't been back since that first radiothon. And I said, I'm bringing this letter with me. I'm going to just bring it with me because of the Danny moment. And I just wanted it to I didn't know Judy was volunteering so I get to the radiothon and I'm sitting in this room with volunteers, and we're volunteering. Judy and I are chatting away, and we had been there for a little while, and then I said, wait a minute. I kind of connected. You're Judy Klein? You said yes. And I went into my purse and I pulled out the letter.
Wow.
That's my letter.
Wow.
I said, is this your letter? And that was my second moment, right? Where I thought, oh my gosh, it was such an honor to meet you, Judy, because you had such an impact on the radiothon that day. And, the support that you triggered with your love, and it was really cool. And then to meet you, it was like I was meeting a celebrity. I was so excited. I'm like, wait a minute. And then it was so amazing. And then just to find out that you then had become this volunteer leader in Rockford and have been doing it for so long, it was such a fun day. And so
it was a fun day. It was really cool.
That sounds amazing. Now, do you want to read the letter? Can we do that?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. Sure. So, hi, my name is Judy Klein. I have a story to tell, but I know that I would be unable to tell this to you myself. So I am writing this note. My son, Matt Klein, was diagnosed with cancer on June 25th, 1993. He was 14 years old. He did a very hard 2.5-year-long program of chemotherapy. We were very hopeful that he would be cured. Only 1 month after his last treatment, he relapsed. He now needed a bone marrow transplant. There was no match for him within our family. So he went on to the National Bone Marrow Register. We were very lucky, for they found a match for him. Matt had his transplant on June 14th, 1996. But the treatments he had to go through to prepare for the transplant weakened him so much that his body could not heal. Matt died on July 1st, 1996. I'm so sorry. Just 17 days after his transplant, at the age of 17, I was cleaning up his room sometime later and found his wallet. There was $25 in it. I have kept this money all this time because I knew that someday I would find something very special to do with it. We would like to donate the $25 from Matt's wallet to the St. Jude's Hospital for the fight for childhood illnesses like Matt's. In loving memory of Matt Klein, 3/17/1979 to 7/1/1996. Our special St. Patrick's Day angel from the family of Matt Klein, Judy, Vince, and Michelle Klein.
Amy, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for, and Judy, the same thing. I mean, this is something, it's so powerful, so hard, but this has resonated for so many people. And not a lot of people knew the actual story and what happened. And I mean, it's like you said, there's Danny moments, and this is just amazing. It really is. Judy, what I did read was that the $25, I wanted to talk about this, was the $25 that you found in Matt's wallet came from scratch-off tickets. That everybody, so I was reading this and I thought, did everybody know to bring a scratch-off ticket when they came to the hospital? I mean, what an incredible, and then the doctor gave him the nickel to scratch it off.
That was buried with him.
I know. That's just, oh my gosh. That is just amazing. I mean, that's just just really, really incredible. And just knowing.
Scratch off tickets. And it was just a fun thing for him to do. And, a 17-year-old boy that's stuck in the hospital.
Right.
He didn't even get to start his senior year, and it just wasn't fun. So we tried to make things as fun as we could, and that was fun. It was a fun thing to do. So my mother-in-law and father-in-law started bringing him scratchy tickets, and then from then on, everybody would bring him a scratchy ticket. And anytime he had a winner, my husband would take it down and get the money for it, and he'd put it in his wallet.
Right.
We didn't get to go out of the hospital once he started getting prepped for the bone marrow transplant. So it just went into his wallet, and he just collected, $1 or $2 or whatever, and I had no idea what was in his wallet. I didn't pay attention. So I didn't know what was in there until months later when I was cleaning his room, and we had brought his things home from the hospital, and I just put him in his room. I didn't want to deal with that right then. And then months later, my husband said, we need to do something with Matt's room. And I said, well, I'll clean it up, but I'm not ready to change anything yet. And so I found the wallet, and I looked in it and found the money. And I said, what do you want to do with this money? And he said, just put it away. You'll find something to do with it. And then I was out running errands that morning, and the radiothon was on. And I just knew
that was what he
that
wanted
was
you
what
to
I
do.
needed to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And Judy, I'm so grateful that Matt brought us together, because you are such an important part of our St. Jude family.
Mm-hmm.
You are, such an important part. Judy leads and coordinates everything for us in Rockford.
Wow.
We love you so much. And
I love doing it too. It's not, I will do as much as I can and as long as I can, because it's needed,
Mm-hmm. Right. Absolutely.
I do it for Matt, but I also do it for the future.
Mm-hmm. Right. And what you've done, this letter, has impacted so many. And it just continues to bring a ripple of positivity and love for over 20 years. Really. It really, it's amazing. Amazing. I have to say that the impact that St. Jude Children's Research Hospital makes is enormous.
It is.
And it is. It's beyond wonderful. And I saw that the same thing when I was down there for Country Cares, and firsthand, and what they do for for the kids, and the environment is like incredible. But I want to say to all of my viewers out here, and they know my passion with St. Jude is, but we cannot stop here. No. We just can't. So no child should die from cancer. Mm-hmm. So what I'm asking all of you is, please, if you can, give even a little, just go to stjude.org and click on the donate button. And I want you to make a contribution in memory of Matt Klein. And that's all I'm asking. Okay. Well, I have to tell you, I thank both of you, because this was really, it was difficult. It was heartfelt. It was probably tough to relive that moment. But I thank you both for coming on and talking to us today and telling the story.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you, Phyllis. And if people want to visit our St. Jude Inspire, if you do St. Jude Inspire, Matt Klein, Judy Klein, you'll find her story. But that was really great too, because I got to see so many pictures of Matt and how you were making life so much fun for him. And I just appreciated that too. So Phyllis, thank you for inviting us to be with you today.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank both of you. And take care during this time. And I know, as everybody says, we're all going to get through this. So I think that we're hopefully on the other side.
Right.
Right. Thank you again, both of you, and take care.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.